I want to introduce our first speaker today. Kieran is going to be talking to us about vaping behaviors in young men.
So yes, as Danny mentioned, my name's Kiran. I lead our vaping and tobacco portfolio here at Vic Health, or sometimes I like to say the anti-vaping and tobacco portfolio here at Vic Health. The Big Tobacco Playbook, I will preface that all views shared here are my own. If anyone's seen Mad Men, and apologies for this horribly pixelated photo, but this is something that often when I talk to people, this is what they think about. Um, Big Tobacco has been around for scores, and they've used this incredible marketing playbook, which in some respects has been quite genius, right? They've shifted narratives, language to really get around any semblance of sort of a regulation or advertising ban, which has meant that they've been able to keep on, as in their words, innovating. But really, what it is to hook generations and generations into nicotine products, which means that we have to be aware and cognizant of how they like to play so we can combat them. This is an illustration of Don Draper in Mad Men, which is, of course, is a real story in a fictionalized TV show. Thankfully, today in 2026, we don't have physicians claiming that some cigarettes are less irritating. There are still, to this day, donations being made by tobacco companies to major political parties. So when I was growing up, I was seeing on TV those really visceral ads. You might see a heart or a lung with black tar being squished out of it. This new generation don't have exposure to any of that, right? Because that has come and gone. Uh, you can also see I've left two screen grabs down below. Big Tobacco have reframed a lot of their language and their strategies towards something called a smoke-free future, which references moving away from tobacco products and things that have aerosol and vapor, which of course result in secondhand smoke inhalation, but also, of course, look at how they can keep up around, strengthening regulations, which is a great thing. The regulations are being strengthened, but of course they're finding other ways through nicotine pouches and sort of non-combustible tobacco products. The McLaren Formula One team, for those F1 fans here today, have a tobacco product, nicotine product called Velo advertised on their cars. In terms of the landscape, legislation and enforcement alone are insufficient. So if you keep up with the news, you can see that there are things like fire bombings. You might note that you might have a friend or a family member or someone that you might know can purchase a packet of illicit tobacco, as well as purchasing a vape, which is actually illegal in Australia, despite the fact that we know readily you can still access them. I think I pass about 4 stores on the way to work every morning. We also know that traditional campaigns, they tend to rely on this fear-based information-only approach, particularly post-COVID as well. We know that young people in particular may not look to trust the voice of government as well. So those attitudes have shifted quite significantly in the last 5 to 6 years. And then, of course, we know that facts alone are insufficient to support behaviour change. Without that peer-to-peer message, it can seem quite paternalistic and quite authoritative as well. So you can see here it's quite a complex issue. We have everything relating to federal legislation. Then we also look at enforcement. So you've got state, federal, border force, Therapeutic Goods Administration, and everyone in between too. And then those are some of the supply side issues as well. But then you've also got demand, which is where we're talking about behavior change, right? And they have to coexist. We can't just look at one in isolation. And like I mentioned earlier, there's an inherent risk here rather than just playing whack-a-mole with vapes. It can act as a gateway to more dangerous tobacco and other products as well. And something that you might have seen recently, just last month actually, was the Lou Thurot documentary Inside the Manosphere, and also a shift from big tobacco to further legitimize themselves and really play into this manosphere space. And I know it may seem to the regular punter that we don't see ads on billboards anymore or on TV, but we can certainly find them in spaces and places, particularly that young people play, particularly in a digital environment as well. So how do we really infiltrate that and respond to that when it's so it sort of subverts the mainstream media and some of those real explicit sort of campaigns and advertising that we see from other parties like the Australian government?